Amex, what's on your mind?
For a long time, I thought that being black was a superpower that also came with a lot of responsibility. A power given to those who God deemed strong enough to handle it. Black people have been disrespected, humiliated, and dehumanized for a long time. Additionally, as a people, our contribution to the development of mankind has been minimized or completely hidden. We have been used to build up other nations, stripped of our possessions, and our lands sucked dry of natural resources, and our people stolen from their homes. Attempts have been made to reduce our population, even to the point of complete annihilation. Nevertheless, we are still here. Now, in the era of information, lies once told about us are being revealed. Our historical contribution to human civilization is being discovered and shown to the world. The truth about us is no longer being kept quiet or hidden in the dark. Though still to this day some may hear us, there is no denying that our black souls contribute to the color, rhythm, and the beat of the world. The power of our influence may be the reason why efforts have been made to ensure that we as a collective remain subdued. Anyway, regardless of how the world tries to undermine us, we still make something out of nothing. Although often in the mainstream media, we are depicted as being loud, violent, rude, lazy, hypersexualized, criminals, uneducated, untrustworthy, that our black skin makes us inherently evil. Isn't there good and bad in all ethnicities? The mainstream media would have you believe that most black people are bad. Additionally, the mainstream media downplays the positive things that we do or have done. I must also acknowledge that we too as a race do not exactly help ourselves. We also at times do not conduct ourselves well. Some of us promote, glorify, encourage, and get paid from our bad behaviors. It's crazy. With all the conflict in the world right now, I always thought to myself, if black people were to one day unite collectively and accept our individualities, but come together regardless and make ourselves one and build ourselves collectively all over the world, creating better, safer, more progressive communities, would the world put its differences aside and make efforts to fight us and destroy that? Because obviously our unity will cause us to become powerful like we were before. This thought weighs heavy on my mind due to me hearing, reading, and sometimes witnessing the many efforts made to make sure that black people as a collective remain at the bottom, socially, politically, economically, psychologically. These efforts have been formed into a poisonous system long before my existence, and these systems are now ingrained in most of us, if not all of us. We are becoming more aware of these systems, and some of us as black people are working to destroy these destructive systems from our minds. But I ain't gonna lie, even though you become woke to it, it's still hard to remain conscious and fight the programming, especially when you have your own kind reinforcing the system back onto you. And you yourself, you realize you're addicted to the drama, the trauma, the negativity, which is so often associated with being black. The black urban culture has great say and dictates what it is to be black and what it is not to be black, with the use of music, films, and TV programs created by the USA, some from the UK and other parts of the world, i.e. Africa and the Caribbean. These influence the black urban culture, how we dress, how we speak, our belief, and what we aspire to be. The black urban culture brought excitement, joy, identity, life, color, beauty, humor, pride, revolution, power, love, fashion, unity. However, on the other side, it also brought fear, misery, ugliness, shame, drama, trauma, hypersexuality, victimhood, confusion, lies, arrested development, disunity, death, money, flexing. I remember as a kid, I was 8 years old when another kid came into the school with Gucci trainers on and he was flexing. But at the time, I didn't know he was flexing. And at the time, I didn't know what Gucci trainers were. I was oblivious to it and what it signified and how such luxury brands were significant in the black urban culture. I didn't know about swag or drip back then, but to me, those Gucci trainers were just brown trainers with green and red stripe. I do remember getting mocked for not having the latest trainers though, or the latest designer clothes. But what was crazy was that everybody around me was in the same situation. Like, we all lived in council estates, we all lived in the hood, working class people, yada yada, like surrounded by criminal activities. Yeah, Lord helped you if you didn't have the right kicks on, or you didn't have the right clothes on your back. And when I mean kicks, I mean like the right trainers. It didn't matter if your family could afford it or not. The black urban culture did put pressure on you to always dress fly and have the nicest things regardless of you or your family's financial situation. So no wonder so many decided to take the fast lane, because shame and peer rejection can make you feel some type of way. It can make you do some crazy things, you know. There is a YouTube channel called I Never Knew TV, and they have a podcast called The Bald Head and Dread. On the podcast, the two hosts spoke about black culture and how the black culture that is given to us has been manufactured by white people who do not have the best intentions for black people as a whole. They talked about how most media, music and YouTube companies are owned by white people, and what they tend to do is take the worst part of our culture and make it represent the whole black community, thus grooming us and tricking us into only desiring and wanting to become the negative stereotypes commonly associated with being a black person. I will attach the link of the podcast in the description for you to have a look at yourself. Although I'm talking about black urban culture, which was and still is, in my opinion, heavily influenced by the African Americans or black Americans in the USA, I noticed films like The Godfather, Scarface, Goodfellas, and shows like The Sopranos really contributing and influencing the black urban culture. Even though these films/shows did not have black people as their main characters and was not mainly about black people gravitated to them and loved the shows and seemed like they related to the people in these shows and films, and even actually aspired to be like these characters and individuals within these shows and films. I can't say that every single black person liked these films or aspired to be like the characters within these films, but I would say films such as Scarface and The Godfather did have a big influence on the black urban culture, even though these films didn't have black people as their main characters. For example, Scarface was about a white Cuban refugee who immigrated to Miami with nothing and then became a wealthy, powerful, third drug lord. Goodfellas and The Sopranos was about Italian mobsters who had to forcefully take their share of the American dream, which included for them money, power, and respect. When watching The Godfather Harlem, which was about Bumpy Johnson, and black American from Harlem, who was a gangster, I noticed that the Italian mobsters in the series did not like black people and even used common racist slurs when referring to black people. Because of this, I was under the impression that some Italian Americans may be racist, and I thought that they may have the same thinking as some racist white Americans. So why did black people gravitate to the Italian mobster films then? Morgan Jenkins wrote an article called The Outsiders: Why Black Audiences Love Italian American Screen Icons. The article explains that Italian immigrants lived alongside African Americans since the 19th century. They worked alongside each other in the southern fields or further north. There was an overlap with both ethnicities in their migration to the north. And under the Jim Crow law, the Italian was not classified as black, yet they did not have protection enjoyed by white Americans. In fact, the largest documented mass lynching was in 1891, when 11 Italian Americans and Italian immigrants were lynched as they were accused of murdering a police officer in New Orleans. In the article, Morgan Jenkins further explains that in the Italian mobster films, African Americans gravitated to these films and were inspired by these films because both the African American and the Italian American lived in the same neighborhoods as each other and both received similar discrimination and treatment from racist white America. They both had the same underdog story, which was being in America and not having equal opportunities and not being allowed to get their part of the American dream. Therefore, when the African Americans saw the Italian mobster films, they could relate and be inspired by the stories told in the mobster films. Though characters in these films and shows were not black, they depicted the underdog winning, even if it was through criminal activity. It showed the underdog gaining power, even sticking it to the system. And once films like Scarface were carried by iconic artists in the hip-hop industry, it was a wrap. A lot of black people wanted to be a mob boss or the next Tony Montana. We did have shows like The Wayne Bros, My Wife and Kids, Meet the Parkers, Moesha, Sister Sister, Keena and Kel, 101, Desmond, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Smart Guy. Shows like these gave us positive role models, taught us important lessons, showed us positive family units, made us laugh. These shows also played their part in molding the black culture that we have today. Furthermore, shows like these showcase the depth and the richness of the black experience, affirming our capacity for morality, empathy, vibrant humor, intellect, rationality, and a full spectrum of human emotions, including love and vulnerability. Through these portrayals, our shared humanity was vividly depicted. Though merely a fictional character, Uncle Phil served as a vital father figure for many black children who lacked a father presence in their lives. While this might seem crazy to some, for many it was a stark reality. I remember the scene when Will's biological father was going to run out on him for the second time, and when Uncle Phil told Will's father to sit down and schooled him on the essence of manhood and fatherhood. Or when Carter said, "Being black is not what I'm trying to be, it's what I am." There's another YouTube channel called Amexem, which has a video entitled The Black Epidemic. And it states that black is not about complexion, no, it's about class. In the video, it goes on to talk about the power in words and how we need to be careful with the words that we use, for example, the word black. The video states that the word black, according to science, means death. Hence, Black Plague. It also has association with negativity. That's why we have black market, blacklisted, etc. and so forth. It further states that the word black was a negative word before it was used or applied to the people. Maybe this explains why black people are often associated with negativity. The video continues to explain that the word black is used to dehumanize Africans and their descendants and to make them disposable without questioning or objection from the greater society. Michelle Maiden, the creator of Level Up Sanctuary and the host in the Black Epidemic video, both asked the same question. Why do we, people from Africa, or African descendants, look at ourselves through the lens of former slave masters? As a people, we use the word black to label ourselves. Black was a word used to replace the N-word. It was used by colonizers to just lump us all in the same category like cattle. A word used to make us a monolith. Now we use the word to sometimes limit and confine and police ourselves. Michelle Maiden said, and I'm paraphrasing, "We are trying to build a community using the color of our skin, our label, the label black, given to us by those who hated us and saw us as subhuman." Michelle goes on to say that a community can only be built on common morals, values, lifestyle choices, structures, and same beliefs. It is difficult to build a community if one part of the group believes in obeying the law and the other part believes in the life of crime, or if one section of the group believes in education and the other does not believe in the importance of education. Building a strong, united community with people with opposite views and only similar skin color can be very difficult. Now, according to the Black Epidemic video, White is a positive adjective, meaning good, pure, holy, associated with God. Those described as white are considered ordained by God himself. Therefore, so-called white people have authority to rule over the land and rule over those who are labelled as black, since black is deemed as impure, inferior, evil. Remember, good has to always conquer evil. I do recommend watching this video, but I'll warn you, it may have you questioning the way you identify yourself. And like with all things, you have to think for yourself and take everything with a pinch of salt. Funny enough, growing up as a black person, I dehumanized myself. I did not believe in showing emotions. I believed that emotions were a luxury only white people had. Feelings and emotions meant nothing to me. Only anger and laughter at another person's expense was permissible. My sole aim was survival. Compelled by the unforgiving environment of the concrete jungle, I inhibited. In the pursuit of this primal necessity, I felt my humanity wane as my instinct for survival sharpened, adapting to the relentless demands of urban life. What's the definition of being a black person? Define black. According to Wikipedia, black is a racialized classification of people, usually a political and skin color based category for specific populations with a mid to dark brown complexion. Another definition, according to Merriam-Webster, a black person is a person belonging to any of the various population groups of especially African ancestry, often considered as having dark pigmentation of the skin, but in fact having a wide range of skin colors. In the 20th century, in the USA, you was considered black or defined as black if you had 1 drop or more of African blood. So, if you had one ancestor of black ancestry, you was considered black, the 1 drop rule. This was to prevent race mixing and protect whiteness. Racial integrity laws, which was between 1924 and 1930. Damn, they were treating blackness like it was an infection. On the other hand, some people would describe black as being beautiful, to be talented in sport, music, and other forms of entertainment, to be a king or queen, black descendant of Africa, or to be African, to be strong and durable, an overcomer, able to overcome all hardships of life, to be able to dance, cook well-seasoned food, innovative, to be able to dress well and have unique hairstyles, to be the best of the best, black excellence, a double-edged sword. Janice Gassam Asare wrote an article, "Our obsession with black excellence is harming black people." In this article, she says, black exceptionalism is often used to justify black humanity. In other words, if you are black and excellent, then you deserve to be treated like a decent human being. Anything less than excellent as a black person has shown to bring some trouble. Does anybody remember England's Euro 2020? Some would say being black is to be loud, in your face, to be ready to fight anytime, to be a baby mom or baby daddy, to have sexual desirability, to be able to hustle, get out the mud, willing to get into a criminal activity. To be black, you must have lived in an impoverished area, often called the hood or the ends or the projects. To be raised in a broken home or by a single mother. To speak slang, to be uneducated. In summary, to just be a stereotype, the black stereotype. One person told me that black is just a pigment of my skin due to melanin. Being black does not deny the fact that I'm human who deserves to express myself to the world without having to adhere to other people's expectations. In particular, the 2 limited beliefs of being black, which is I have to be the stereotype from the ghetto who gets the approval from other black people, or the really friendly, harmless, exceptional, you're different from the rest black person who gets the approval from white people. In summary, I think we as black people are unique and special in our own ways, talented beyond entertainment, inventors, healers, teachers, leaders, entrepreneurs, capable fathers and mothers. Black people can do anything and achieve anything we put our minds to. We deserve to display our individuality and show the full spectrum of our humanity and not be tied to the limited stereotypes created for other people's entertainment and our own detriment. Every black person should decide for themselves what it is to be black. Is that not the reason why many civil rights activists protested, fought and died? So that we as black people could be free, granting us equal opportunities to develop and grow and to be able to be treated like human beings and express our blackness in its full entirety. But what do I know? I'm just a cartoon.